There is a phrase that is said so often in gaming, and I fucking hate it. This game is dead, or this game is dying. I wasn't sure why this shit made me so unreasonably irritated, but after some reflection, I think I figured it out. Quite simply, it's an overused phrase, anyone can say it, and 99% of the time, it's just wrong. Let's examine Apex Legends, a game that only recently released, and was the most successful free-to-play game launch in history. Now look at all of these fucking people, claiming that this game that generated over 50 million players in a month is dying. More people have played this shit than Skyrim and GTA Vice City combined, but that doesn't stop people from proclaiming that this license to print money is about to die. And it's not just Apex Legends. You search for any fucking game you can think of, and there'll be someone on a soapbox announcing the death of a game they probably didn't like. What kind of fucking metrics are people using when calling something a dead game? It could be assumed it would be the player count, revenue, or the level of ongoing support, but I suspect it's none of those things. In fact, I'd say the biggest reason for a person calling a game dying is that they simply have stopped enjoying it. This makes sense. It's a passionate statement to call a game dead, but simply because a person no longer finds a game enjoyable doesn't mean that the entire game has died. When Dr. Disrespect made the argument that Apex Legends was dying only a month after its release, he made the point that the level of hype had decreased and that the game would never see that kind of enthusiasm again. And in this sense, he's absolutely right. However, to call a game dying at this stage is like telling a mother that their healthy newborn baby is in the arms of the fucking Grim Reaper. The original season pass was like its first word, even if that word just happens to be cosmetics. The point is that Apex Legends has a long way to go. It has a lot of growing up to do, and I personally can't wait to see what this game looks like this time next year. If Rainbow Six Siege has taught us anything, that scrawny kid from high school can grow up to be a fucking Chad. I think when a person says that a successful game is dead, what they are really saying is that they don't enjoy the game, and neither should anyone else. Considering the absolute sheer amount of playtime people put into games they like, it isn't such a strange assumption that they've simply become burnt out. Streamers and content creators especially, who might play the same game several hours a day for a living, will experience this kind of burnout more than anyone, and ultimately, they are the ones with the loudest voices. Perhaps I'm just scared that a mob mentality could destroy an otherwise amazing game before it has time to truly reach its peak. However, if the only fucking quality to call a game dead is my own individual enjoyment, then I hereby declare Tetris, cricket, and surfing dead. It's such a stupid saying. Let's talk about Fortnite. Holy fucking shit, are there a lot of people declaring this shit dead? And countless YouTube channels are making absolute bank by milking the Fortnite hate train. I don't enjoy Fortnite, but I'm not about to call it a dead or dying game. Especially when it made $3 billion last year. Fortnite made more money than the GDP of many small nations, and still people insist on calling for its fucking funeral. Perhaps the reason I personally get so irritated is because I've been part of a community of a dying game. I started this channel making content on Dirty Bomb, a game that perhaps would have become wildly successful if not for slow progression, infrequent updates, and stiff competition. It was a mix between Counter-Strike and Overwatch, and I have never been better at any other game, before or since. However, very sadly, Dirty Bomb is on its last legs. The servers are gradually shutting down, and there will be no more content added until it eventually fades into obscurity. Maybe I wouldn't even be in a position to make this video in the first place if Dirty Bomb didn't exist, and perhaps that explains my irrational levels of annoyance for dumb fucks on the internet. It just seems as though every time someone casually makes the declaration that a game is dying, it really just makes the statement meaningless for the list of genuinely excellent games that struggle to stay alive in the current game industry. Perhaps instead of simply proclaiming that a game is dead, it would be more helpful to instead point out how it could be improved for the better. Instead of asserting that No Man's Sky was dead on arrival, it's healthier to just admit that it was overhyped and released far too early. Instead of announcing that Overwatch is in decline, it's better to say that the current game state has stagnated its enjoyment. And instead of declaring that Call of Duty is dead, it's far more productive to say that it's just a worse Titanfall. Thank you and good night.